The sky turned dark over Seoul at noon. It wasn't clouds. It was ships. Massive alien ships that blocked the sun. Commander Jae-ho Kim stood on the roof of the United Defense Force headquarters. His hands gripped the railing until his knuckles turned white. Across the city, people pointed up. Some screamed. Most just stared, too shocked to move. "Sir, all major cities worldwide report the same," said Captain Dong, handing Jae-ho a tablet. "New York, London, Beijing, Cairo, all have these ships above them." Jae-ho's phone rang. It was his old friend, Dr. Yeonmi Park. "Jae-ho, are you seeing this?" Her voice shook. "I'm looking at it right now," he said. "What do we know?" "Nothing yet. My team is scanning them. But their tech is. It's beyond anything we have." On every screen around the world, the same message appeared. Television, phones, computers, all showed the same alien face. Gray skin. 6 eyes. No nose. "People of Earth," the alien said in perfect Korean. Jae-ho knew that in other countries, it would be speaking their languages. "I am Ambassador Vil of the Vec Empire. We control 1,000 star systems. We have watched your planet for decades. Your time of independence is over." Jae-ho's phone buzzed with emergency alerts. The president was calling an emergency meeting. "You have 3 Earth days to surrender control to the Vec Empire," the alien continued. "If you submit, you will live as our subjects. If you resist, you will be eliminated. We have done this to 37 other worlds. All who fought are now extinct. All who kneeled still exist." The screens went dark. The phones worked again. And the world exploded in panic. Dr. Yeonmi Park didn't have time for panic. Her lab at the National Science Center was chaos, but she kept working. "The scans are coming in," her assistant said. "Their ships are made of a metal we don't recognize." Yeonmi wasn't interested in the ships. She was looking at the Vec themselves. The brief broadcast gave her team enough to analyze the alien biology. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a scan of the ambassador's body. "Their skin has unusual properties, and their eyes. The structure is strange." The lab door opened. Jae-ho walked in, now in full military uniform. "The world leaders are meeting in 1 hour," he said. "Please tell me you have something, Yeonmi." She pointed to her screen. "They evolved in a very different environment than ours. Their eyes are adapted to dim light. Their hearing range is different. And look at this cellular structure." Jae-ho looked but didn't understand. "What am I seeing?" "Something I've never seen before," she said. "But if I'm right, they might have a weakness. Their cells don't repair damage the way ours do." "Meaning?" "Meaning they might not adapt well to changes. They're strong, yes. Advanced, yes. But possibly rigid." The building shook. Outside, people were rioting in the streets. Fear had taken over. 3 days to decide the fate of humanity. "I need more time," Yeonmi said. "And samples. I need to know more about them." "I can't get you samples," Jae-ho said. "But time. I'll try to buy us time." His phone rang again. The president was demanding his presence. "The government is split," Jae-ho said, heading for the door. "Half want to fight. Half want to surrender." "And you?" Yeonmi asked. Jae-ho stopped at the door. "My job is to defend Earth. That's what I'll do." "Keep working, Yeonmi. Find me a way to fight these Vec." As he left, Yeonmi turned back to her screen. Something in the scan caught her eye. Something no one else would notice. A tiny detail about Vec biology that might change everything. Outside, the massive ships remained motionless above the city, watching, waiting for humanity to kneel. They would be waiting a long time. The world leaders argued for hours. Some wanted to fight. Others wanted to surrender. Fear filled the room as they watched videos of Vec ships hovering over every major city. "We cannot win against their technology," said the French president. "We must save our people by surrendering." Jae-ho stood at the back of the room, listening. When asked his opinion, He stepped forward. "We have faced extinction before," he said. "Ice ages, plagues, world wars. Each time, humans adapted and survived. It's what we do best." The room fell silent. "Give me and my team time to find a way," Jiho said. "We have 3 days. Let's use them." Taiwan Li's workshop was filled with half-built machines and computer parts. The military engineer hadn't slept since the Vec arrived. When Jiho entered, Taiwan didn't even look up from his work. "I got your message," Jiho said. "You said you found something." Taiwan pointed to his computer screen. "Human history. That's where I found it." "Found what?" "Our advantage." Taiwan pulled up images of humans living in different environments around the world. Desert tribes, Arctic communities, mountain villages, deep-sea divers. Humans can live anywhere, adapt to anything. Jiho frowned. The Vec have conquered 37 worlds. They've seen adaptable species before. Not like us. Taiwan showed Jiho a chart. No species on Earth adapts as quickly as humans, both physically and mentally. We adjust to new situations in days, sometimes hours. What if the Vec can't? Jiho remembered what Yanmai had said about the Vec's cellular structure. "You think they're rigid. I think they're used to fighting enemies who fight like them." Taiwan stood up. "But we need to be sure. We need a Vec." Yanmai worked through the night, analyzing every frame of the Vec broadcast. Her eyes burned from staring at screens for too long. "Dr. Park," her assistant called from the door. "Someone's here to see you." Jiho entered with Taiwan behind him. "Please tell me you have good news," Jiho said. Yanmai pointed to her findings. The Vec evolved on a world with very little environmental change. Their biology shows no signs of rapid adaptation mechanisms. "So Taiwan is right," Jiho said. "They're not good with change." "Exactly," she said. "And that's not all. Their hearing range is narrow but very sensitive within that range, and their vision is adapted to specific light conditions." Taiwan grinned. "We can use that. If we can create weapons that target those sensitivities." A loud crash interrupted him. The lab door burst open. 3 humans walked in, but their movements were strange, jerky. Their eyes glowed with an unnatural light. "Vec infiltrators," Jiho whispered, reaching for his gun. "They've taken over human bodies," Yanmai said in horror. The possessed humans spoke in unison, their voices mechanical. "Your research will end now. The Vec Empire cannot be resisted." Jiho fired his gun at the ceiling. The loud noise made the infiltrators clutch their heads in pain. Their enhanced hearing couldn't handle the sound. "Run," Jiho shouted. He grabbed Yanmai's research tablet as they fled through the emergency exit. Outside, they raced to Jiho's car. "They know," Yanmai said, breathing hard. "They know we found a weakness." "Which means we're right," Taiwan said. "They're afraid of something about us." Jiho started the car. "We need to get to the defense headquarters. If they're targeting your research, it means we're on the right track." As they drove away, the Vec ships seemed to tilt slightly, as if watching them specifically. 2 days left, Jiho said. 2 days to find a way to use their weaknesses against them. Yanmai looked at her tablet. "I saved all my research, and now we know for sure they can be hurt. And if they can be hurt," Taiwan added, "they can be defeated." The car sped through the empty streets of Seoul, carrying humanity's best hope for survival. The final hours of the Vec's 3-day deadline ticked away. World leaders gathered for one last meeting. This time, Jiho stood at the front of the room with Yanmai and Taiwan. "We will not surrender," Jiho said firmly. "We have a plan." On screens behind him, Yanmai showed her research. The Vec have weaknesses. Their hearing is very sensitive to certain sounds. Their eyes cannot adjust quickly to light changes. And most importantly, they cannot adapt fast to new situations. Taiwan stepped forward. "We have built devices that create sounds at frequencies that hurt the Vec. We have lights that can blind them temporarily. It's not much, but it's a start. Some leaders still look doubtful. The Vec expect us to either surrender or fight in a way they understand, Jai-Ho said. We will do neither. We will fight in a way only humans can, by changing our tactics faster than they can respond. The world leaders voted. The decision was made. Earth would fight. The Vec received Earth's answer at exactly the 3-day mark. The alien ships began to move. As expected, they attacked Seoul first, where the strongest no to their demands had come from. Fighter jets scrambled into the sky. Among the pilots was Soo-Jin Kim, Jai-Ho's younger sister and one of South Korea's best pilots. Remember the plan. Jai-Ho's voice came through her headset. Don't engage directly. Lead them over the trap zones. Soo-Jin's jet screamed through the air, drawing closer to a Vec ship. It was enormous, at least 20 times the size of her small fighter. The Vec ship fired energy beams that turned buildings below to dust. I'm approaching Zone 1, Soo-Jin reported. They're following me. On the ground, Ta-1 waited with his finger over a button. Ready on Zone 1, he confirmed. Soo-Jin flew directly over the trap zone, a section of the city that had been quickly evacuated. The Vec ship followed, eager to shoot down the human craft. Now, Jai-Ho ordered. Ta-1 pressed the button. Hundreds of devices activated at once, sending out powerful sound waves at the exact frequency that Yunmai had identified as painful to Vec hearing. The sound was too high for humans to hear, but the effect on the Vec ship was immediate. The massive vessel wobbled in the air. Its weapons stopped firing. Through her cockpit, Soo-Jin could see lights flashing inside the ship. It's working, she shouted. All across Seoul, similar traps activated as pilots like Soo-Jin led Vec ships into position. The aliens had expected easy targets. Instead, they found pain and confusion. Zone 3 is ready, Yunmai said from the command center where she worked with Jai-Ho. We need more ships led there. Soo-Jin's voice came through the radio. I'm on it. Her jet banked sharply, heading toward a second Vec vessel. This one seemed to have learned. It kept its distance, firing from afar. They're adapting, Jai-Ho warned. Faster than we expected. Soo-Jin pushed her jet to maximum speed. I'll get closer. I need to make sure they follow me to Zone 3. Soo-Jin. No, Jai-Ho shouted. It's too dangerous. But Soo-Jin's jet was already racing toward the Vec ship, firing missiles to get their attention. The alien vessel turned all its weapons toward her. I've got their attention, Soo-Jin reported, leading them to Zone 3 now. Her jet streaked across the sky with the Vec ship in pursuit. As she crossed over Zone 3, Ta-1 activated the trap. This time, powerful lights flashed in patterns designed to disorient Vec vision. The ship faltered, but not before firing one last shot. It struck Soo-Jin's jet. I'm hit, she cried as her fighter spiraled downward. Jai-Ho watched in horror as his sister's plane disappeared from radar. The Vec ship, disoriented by the lights, began to retreat. Across the city, other Vec vessels were doing the same. They're pulling back, Ta-1 said in disbelief. We hurt them. But Jai-Ho wasn't listening. Find Soo-Jin, he ordered. Find her now. Yunmai placed a hand on his shoulder. The Vec are retreating. We won the first battle, Jai-Ho. But at what cost? He asked, staring at the empty space on the radar where his sister had been. Soo-Jin opened her eyes slowly. Her head hurt. The room around her was strange. Metal walls with odd markings, dim purple light, and air that smelled like nothing she had ever known. She was on a bed of some kind, but not made for humans. Her flight suit was still on, but her weapons were gone. I'm on their ship, she whispered to herself. A door slid open with a soft hiss. Soo-Jin sat up quickly, ready to fight if needed. A Vec entered, but this one looked different from the ambassador she had seen on screens. This Vec was smaller, with lighter gray skin and only 4 eyes instead of 6. You are awake, the Vec said in perfect Korean. Good. Soo-jin stayed silent, watching carefully. I am Ka, the Vec continued. I have questions. So do I. Soo-jin replied boldly. Why are you attacking us? What do you want with Earth? Ka tilted his head, a surprisingly human gesture. Interesting. You ask questions even as a prisoner. Most species beg for mercy. Humans don't beg, Soo-jin said. We have noticed. Ka moved closer. Your kind fought back today. Many Vec are angry. Some are afraid. Soo-jin couldn't hide her surprise. Afraid? Of us? Your ships can destroy our cities in seconds. Yet you found ways to hurt us. Ka's 4 eyes blinked at different times. How did you know our weaknesses so quickly? Soo-jin stayed quiet, not willing to reveal Eunmi's research. Your weapons targeted our hearing and vision perfectly, Ka continued. No species has adapted to fight us so effectively, so quickly. That's what humans do, Soo-jin said. We adapt. Back on Earth, Jeho hadn't slept in 24 hours. Search teams found Soo-jin's crashed jet, but not her. The Vec took her, he told Eunmi and Taiwan in the command center. They must have. There's something else, Eunmi said, showing him new data. The Vec ships that retreated, they're behaving strangely. They're keeping their distance now. They seem to be studying us. Learning, Taiwan added, trying to understand how we hurt them. Jeho looked at the screens showing Vec ships hovering far above the city. Can they adapt like we can? I don't think so, Eunmi said. Their biology suggests they evolved in a very stable environment. They're used to being the most advanced species, not having to change or adapt. Then we keep changing, Jeho said firmly. We switch tactics before they can adjust to our current ones. On the Vec ship, Soo-jin was surprised to find she wasn't in a cell. Ka had moved her to what seemed like a meeting room, with a view of Earth below. Why am I here? Soo-jin asked. Why not kill me? You are different, Ka said. The Vec Empire has conquered many worlds. All followed the same pattern. They fight in ways we understand, or they surrender. You humans did neither. Soo-jin watched Ka carefully. You said the Vec Empire, not we. Like you're separate from them. Ka was silent for a moment. There are differences of opinion among my kind. Not all Vec believe in conquest. This was new information, something that could help Earth. You don't want to conquer us. I believe in understanding before conquering, Ka said. The Council rushed to attack your world when you refused to surrender. I advised study first. Soo-jin saw an opportunity. Then study me. Learn about us. That is what I am doing, Ka replied. Tell me, what is this human concept you call freedom? Why do you value it more than safety? Soo-jin thought carefully about how to answer. This alien didn't understand the most basic human values. If she could make Ka understand humans, maybe she could change how the Vec saw them. Freedom is having choices, she began, watching Ka's reaction closely. Humans would rather die with choices than live without them. Ka's eyes blinked in sequence. Fascinating. In Vec society, order is everything. Choice leads to chaos. For humans, Soo-jin said, choice leads to innovation, to adaptation. It's how we survive. And as she spoke, Soo-jin realized something important. She wasn't just a prisoner. She was Earth's ambassador to the Vec. And Ka was listening. We found her, Taiwan said, rushing into the command center. Our systems picked up Soo-jin's emergency beacon. It's weak, but it's there. She's on the largest Vec ship. Jeho looked up from the maps he was studying. Hope filled his eyes for the first time in days. You're sure it's her? The signal has her personal code, Taiwan confirmed. She's alive, Jeho. Eunmi joined them, carrying a tablet with her latest research. I finished the new weapons, she said. Based on what we learned from the first battle, I've designed devices that can create rapid environmental changes around the Vex ships. What kind of changes? Jai-Ho asked. Temperature shifts, humidity changes, air pressure fluctuations, she explained. If the Vex evolved in a stable environment, these changes should cause them serious discomfort, maybe even pain. Jai-Ho studied the designs. Ta-1, how quickly can you build these? With the resources we have, 24 hours. You have 12, Jai-Ho said. We're going to rescue Su-Jin. On the Vex ship, Su-Jin continued her conversations with Kay. Each day, the alien seemed more interested in humans. Your art confuses me, Kay said, showing Su-Jin images of human paintings and music on a screen. It serves no clear purpose. It helps us express feelings. Su-Jin explained. Joy, sadness, hope, fear. Don't the Vex have art? We have records, information, but not expression. Kay seemed troubled. Your kind values emotions. We are taught to control them. Su-Jin had learned a lot about the Vex too. Their society was rigid, with strict rules. They conquered other worlds because their own resources were limited, but they never expected resistance like Earth's. An alarm suddenly blared through the ship. Kay's 4 eyes widened. What's happening? Su-Jin asked. Your people, Kay said, sounding almost impressed. They're attacking. Jai-Ho led the rescue mission himself. 3 small, fast ships approached the main Vex vessel. They carried Eunmi's new environmental modulators. Team 1, draw their attention to the north side. Jai-Ho ordered from the lead ship. Team 2, prepare to deploy the modulators when I give the word. The human ships darted around the massive Vex vessel like mosquitoes around an elephant. The Vex fired energy weapons, but the smaller Earth ships were too quick. Now, Jai-Ho commanded. Team 2 launched the modulators. The small devices attached to the hull of the Vex ship and activated. Immediately, they created bubbles of rapidly changing conditions around sections of the alien vessel. Inside the Vex ship, chaos erupted. Aliens stumbled as the air pressure shifted wildly. Temperature changes made their sensitive skin burn, then freeze. Humidity levels swung from desert dry to tropical wet in seconds. They're disoriented. Ta-1 reported from his position monitoring the Vex ship's reactions. Their systems are failing. Jai-Ho's ship approached an entry point on the Vex vessel. Team 3, we're going in. Eunmi, guide us to Su-Jin's signal. Su-Jin felt the ship shudder. Lights flickered. Vex ran past the room where she and Kay were talking, clearly panicking. Your brother, Kay said, watching a screen showing the human ships. He comes for you. You knew he would. Su-Jin replied. Kay turned all 4 eyes to her. The Vex Council will order your people destroyed after this. They fear what they don't understand. Then help me, Su-Jin said quickly. Come with us. Show my people that not all Vex want war. Kay hesitated. Leave my kind. Join yours? Not join us. Help us understand each other. The ship rocked again. A decision had to be made. Jai-Ho and his team fought their way through the Vex ship. The aliens were disoriented by Eunmi's devices, making them easier to overcome. Her signal is just ahead. Eunmi guided them through their earpieces. Jai-Ho reached a door and forced it open. Inside, he found Su-Jin. But she wasn't alone. A Vex stood beside her. Jai-Ho raised his weapon. No, Su-Jin stepped between them. This is Kay. He's different. He wants to help us. The Vex looked at Jai-Ho. Your sister taught me about humanity. Now I want to teach my people about you. Jai-Ho lowered his weapon slightly. Why should I trust you? Because Kay said, I know the Vex's greatest fear, and I will share it with you. The return to Earth was tense. Jai-Ho kept his weapon ready as their ship carried not just his rescued sister, but also Kay, the first Vex to ever willingly come to Earth. The alien sat quietly, watching the blue planet grow larger through the window. We need to hurry, Su Jin said. The Vec will be furious about Kay leaving with us. Jai-ho nodded. Ian Mai and Taiwan are waiting at the base. We need to hear what Kay knows. When they landed, armed guards surrounded Kay. The alien showed no fear as they escorted him inside. In the secure meeting room, Yunmei couldn't hide her excitement at seeing a Vec up close. Remarkable, she whispered, studying him. Tell them what you told me, Su Jin said to Kay. Kay looked at each human in turn. The Vec Empire has conquered 27 worlds, not 37 as our ambassador claimed. 10 were destroyed completely when they resisted like you. Why are you telling us this? Taiwan asked suspiciously. Because no species has ever hurt the Vec like humans did, Kay replied. You found our weaknesses in days. You adapted your weapons to target those weaknesses. You rescued your pilot from our most secure ship. You are different. Ian Mai leaned forward. Different how? I analyzed your DNA while on our ship, Kay said. Human DNA contains unusual patterns. Patterns I have seen before, in ancient records. The room went silent. What records? Jai-ho asked finally. Records of the creators, Kay said. A civilization that existed long before the Vec. They vanished, but they left behind technology and knowledge that we discovered. Some believe they seeded many worlds with life. You're saying humans were designed? Yunmei asked, shocked. Your adaptability is too perfect, Kay explained. Your bodies can live in cold or hot climates. Your minds can solve new problems quickly. Most species specialize in one environment, one way of thinking. Humans adapt to anything. Jai-ho crossed his arms. If what you say is true, why does that matter now? Kay's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. Because there is a prophecy among the oldest Vec. It speaks of an adaptable species that will bring our empire to its end. Many Vec believe humans are that species. So that's why they attacked us, Su Jin realized. Not for resources or territory. They're afraid of us. Yes, Kay confirmed. And you are not alone in resisting. Other conquered worlds watch you now. They see how you fight. I can connect you with them. Taiwan looked skeptical. Why would you betray your own kind? The Vec Empire has lost its way, Kay said simply. We were once explorers, not conquerors. Some of us wish to return to that path. Jai-ho studied the alien carefully. You're talking about an alliance. Humans and other species against the Vec Empire. Yes, Kay said. There are resistance movements on every conquered world. They have been waiting for a species like yours to lead them. Lead them? Enmai asked. But these other species must be more advanced than us. They have technology, Kay agreed. But they lack your adaptability, your creativity. They follow rules. Humans break them and make new ones. Jai-ho looked at his team. This changed everything. What started as Earth's fight for survival could become a galactic revolution. I need to speak with world leaders, Jai-ho decided. Kay, can you help us contact these resistance groups? I can, the alien said. But we must hurry. The Vec Council will send their Supreme Commander next. They will not underestimate humans again. Su Jin put a hand on her brother's arm. Jai-ho, if we do this, we're not just fighting for Earth anymore. Jai-ho nodded. I know. We're fighting for everyone the Vec have ever tried to make kneel. The skies darkened again over Earth. But this time, it wasn't just ships. It was a fleet. The Supreme Commander has arrived, Kay said, looking up at the massive new vessel that dwarfed all the others. Viltoth leads them. He has never failed to crush a rebellion. Over the past week, Earth had prepared. Using Kay's knowledge, they had built better weapons. Through secret channels Kay provided, they had contacted resistance groups on 7 other worlds conquered by the Vec. Now, in the underground command center, Jai-ho studied the enemy fleet on the screens. They brought everything. Su Jin noted. They're not taking chances this time. Mai entered with new data. We intercepted their communications. I think you should hear this. She played a recording of Vec voices, translated into Korean. The humans must be eliminated completely, a deep voice said. The prophecy cannot be fulfilled. But Supreme Commander, another voice replied, total destruction of a habitable world requires approval from. I have full authority, the deep voice cut in. The Council fears what these humans represent. All traces of their existence must be erased. Jaiho looked at Kay. They really are afraid of us. Kay's 4 eyes blinked slowly. More than you know. The prophecy speaks of a species that will bring freedom where the Vec brought order. To our leaders, freedom is chaos. It threatens everything they believe. Taiwan joined them with reports from around the world. Our allies on the conquered worlds are ready. They wait for our signal to rise up. Jaiho nodded. Then it's time for the next phase. Sujin, Kay, are you ready? Sujin and Kay exchanged a look. We are, Sujin answered. But it's risky, if we're caught. We won't get another chance, Jaiho said. We need to know their full plans, and the command ship is where we'll find them. Under cover of darkness, a small stealth craft approached the Supreme Commander's vessel. Technology from the Resistance had helped mask it from Vec sensors. Inside, Sujin piloted while Kay directed her to a hidden entry point. All Vec ships have emergency access ports, Kay explained. Only high-ranking officers know about them. Sujin guided their craft to a spot Kay indicated. They docked silently and entered the massive ship. The central command room is 3 levels up, Kat whispered as they moved through dim corridors. The Supreme Commander will be there. They hid as Vec soldiers passed. Sujin noticed something strange. Some of them look different. Their movements are jerky, almost like they're sick. Not sick, Kay said. Doubtful. Questions are spreading through the ranks about this war. It's never happened before. They reached a room filled with glowing screens. Kai quickly accessed one. These are their attack plans. They plan to destroy Earth's major cities all at once. Sujin copied the data to send to Jaiho. What's this? She asked, pointing to another screen showing strange symbols. The full prophecy, Kay said, surprised. I've never seen it all before. They keep it secret from most Vec. He read quickly, then turned to Sujin with all 4 eyes wide. It doesn't just say an adaptable species will end the empire. It says they will transform it. The rigid shall learn from the adaptable, and together they will build something greater than either could alone. Sujin stared at him. That's not about destruction. It's about change. Evolution. A voice suddenly came from behind them. Correct. But our leaders fear change above all else. They spun around to face a tall Vec with elaborate markings. 6 eyes stared at them. Supreme Commander, Kay said, stepping in front of Sujin protectively. Traitor, Viltoth replied. You bring the prophecy's harbinger right to my ship. Sujin stood her ground. Your empire is already changing. Your own soldiers are questioning your orders. Which is why Earth must be destroyed. Viltoth said coldly, to remind everyone of the price of disobedience. It's too late, Sujin said boldly. We've already sent your plans to our allies. The rebellion begins now. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the ship. Screens showed Vec vessels firing on each other. Viltoth's 6 eyes widened in shock. What have you done? What have you done? Viltoth demanded again as chaos erupted throughout the ship. Sujin smiled. We didn't fire a single shot. Your own people are rising up. Kai stepped forward. The crews of 7 ships have joined our cause. They've been waiting for this moment, waiting for proof that the Empire could be challenged. Fury twisted Viltoth's face. He reached for a weapon, but Kay moved faster, knocking it from his hand. Take him, Kay told Sujin. I'll hold him here. Sujin hesitated. Kay, go. Your brother needs to know what we found. The full prophecy changes everything. Sujin ran from the room as Kay faced the Supreme Commander alone. On Earth, Jai-Ho watched the screens in amazement. Vec ships were fighting each other in orbit. Some fired at the Supreme Commander's vessel. Others tried to protect it. "It's working," Taiwan said in disbelief. "The rebellion is spreading faster than we expected." Yunmei pointed to new data coming in. Reports from the other worlds showed the same thing. Vec soldiers are refusing orders. Some are joining the oppressed species in uprising. Jai-Ho's communicator beeped. "Su-Jin, are you safe?" "I'm heading back," her voice came through. "Jai-Ho, we found the full prophecy. It doesn't say humans will destroy the Vec. It says we'll transform them. The rigid shall learn from the adaptable. It's about change, not destruction." Jai-Ho looked at Yunmei. "Can we broadcast to all Vec ships at once?" She nodded. "With the codes K gave us, yes." "Do it. We need to tell them all what the prophecy really says." Taiwan had been working on something special. When word of the infiltration mission came, he had finished it just in time. "It's ready," he told Jai-Ho. "The adaptive environmental suits, they'll let humans survive on any world the Vec have conquered." "How many do we have?" Jai-Ho asked. 200. Enough for our best fighters." Jai-Ho looked at the silver suits. "With these, we can help the rebellions on other worlds. We can be everywhere at once." An alarm sounded. Yunmei checked the radar. "Viltoth's ship is moving. It's heading straight for us. Weapons are charging." "Broadcast the prophecy now," Jai-Ho ordered, "and prepare our new defenses." Su-Jin made it back to her small craft and raced toward Earth. Behind her, the Supreme Commander's massive ship was moving too, heading for the planet. "Jai-Ho," she called through her communicator, "Viltoth is coming. He plans to destroy Earth completely to stop the prophecy." "We're ready," Jai-Ho replied. "Get back here safely." Su-Jin pushed her craft to maximum speed, watching as Viltoth's ship grew smaller behind her. Suddenly, something strange happened. Several Vec ships moved to block the Supreme Commander's path. They formed a line between his ship and Earth. "Jai-Ho, are you seeing this?" Su-Jin asked in amazement. "We're broadcasting the true prophecy to all Vec," he explained. "More are joining our side every minute." Yunmei also sent the biological agent she developed. The agent was Yunmei's most brilliant creation. It didn't harm the Vec physically, but it temporarily broke down rigid thinking patterns in their brains. It made them question orders, think for themselves. Su-Jin watched as more ships joined the blockade protecting Earth. The Supreme Commander's vessel fired on them, destroying 2. But for every ship destroyed, 3 more joined the rebellion. When Su-Jin landed back at the base, Jai-Ho was waiting with one of Taiwan's new adaptive suits. "Put this on," he told her. "We're going to the front lines." "Where's that?" she asked. "Everywhere," Jai-Ho said. "Teams are heading to all 7 conquered worlds that joined our alliance. You and I are going to the Vec homeworld." Su-Jin stared at him. "Their homeworld? How?" "Kay gave us the coordinates before your mission. And he sent a message. Many Vec citizens already question the Empire. They've never heard the full prophecy." "And Kay? Did he make it out?" Jai-Ho's face turned serious. "We don't know yet, but his sacrifice might have saved everyone, Vec and humans alike." As they prepared to depart, reports came in from across the galaxy. The rigid Vec Empire was breaking apart. The revolution had begun. Viltoth stood on the bridge of his command ship, watching as his carefully built empire fell apart around him. Ship after ship turned against him. World after world declared freedom. "Supreme Commander," one of his loyal officers reported, "we've lost contact with our forces on 4 more worlds. The humans have spread their ideas everywhere." "Then we will end this now," Viltoth said coldly. "Prepare the planet killer weapon. Earth dies today." Even his loyal officers looked shocked. "But Supreme Commander, such a weapon has never been used on an inhabited." "Do it," Viltoth shouted. The prophecy cannot be fulfilled if humans no longer exist. Jai-Ho and Su-Jin arrived at the Vec homeworld in a small, fast ship designed by Taiwan. Their adaptive suits let them breathe in the Vec atmosphere, which had more nitrogen and less oxygen than Earth. "It's beautiful," Su-Jin said, looking at the Vec cities below. They were built in perfect geometric patterns, everything in precise order. "And now we know why they fear us so much," Jai-Ho replied. "Their whole society is built on order and control. Our chaos and adaptability terrify them." Their ship landed in a large square. To their surprise, thousands of Vec were waiting, not with weapons, but in silence. Kay's message worked, Su-Jin whispered. "They want to hear the truth." Jai-Ho and Su-Jin stepped out to face the crowd. Using a translator device, Jai-Ho spoke. "People of Vec, we come in peace. We bring the truth your leaders have hidden from you." In orbit around Earth, Viltoth's ship moved into firing position. The planet-killer weapon charged slowly. It would take 10 minutes to reach full power. But suddenly, a familiar face appeared on Viltoth's main screen. It was Ka. "Impossible," Viltoth whispered. "You were captured." "I was," Ka confirmed. "But your soldiers freed me. They heard the true prophecy. They know what you've hidden." Behind Ka, Vec soldiers stood at attention. They had chosen their side. "You have lost, Supreme Commander," Ka said. "Surrender now." Viltoth laughed. "I've already won. The planet killer is charging. Earth will be destroyed, and the prophecy with it." "No," came another voice. Yunmai appeared beside Ka on the screen. "Your weapon won't fire." As if on cue, the ship's alarms blared. The weapon systems failed. Viltoth turned to his officers, but found them pointing weapons at him. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Your empire is over," Ka said simply. "The rigid must learn from the adaptable." That's what the prophecy always meant. On the Vec homeworld, Jai-Ho stood before the massive crowd. He had finished telling them about the true prophecy and what their leaders had hidden. "We don't want to destroy you," he told them. "We want to work with you. Humans adapt quickly. Vec build things that last. Together, we can create something better than either of us could alone." The Vec listened silently. Then, one by one, they knelt. Su-Jin grabbed Jai-Ho's arm. "What are they doing?" "We didn't come here to make them kneel." An older Vec approached them. "We kneel not in submission, but in respect. You could have destroyed us. Instead, you offer partnership. The prophecy speaks truth. We have much to learn from you." Jai-Ho helped the Vec to stand. "No more kneeling. Not for us, not for anyone. From now on, we stand together." 1 year later, Jai-Ho stood in the new Galactic Council chamber. Representatives from 27 worlds, formerly conquered by the Vec, now free, sat together with Vec representatives. Yunmai and Taiwan had created technologies combining human adaptability with Vec precision. Su-Jin led the new peacekeeping forces that included both humans and Vec. And Ka, now the Vec's chosen leader, worked alongside Jai-Ho to build something new. "They wanted us to kneel," Taiwan said, joining Jai-Ho at the window overlooking the stars. "Now look at us." "It wasn't about making them beg for mercy," Jai-Ho replied. "It was about showing them a better way." Outside, ships from a dozen worlds moved peacefully through space. The stars were no longer a battlefield, but a frontier for all species to explore together. The prophecy had been fulfilled, but not as anyone expected. The adaptable had indeed transformed the rigid, not through destruction, but through understanding.